We're back on another exciting episode of Starfleet Sohail, where we have a casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. Today we're talking about Star Trek Deep Space Nine. It's the episode The Passenger. The Passenger. The Passenger. And if I and if I talk like this, you might think that I am possessed by another being.
That was some choices.
Yeah.
And that's ADR. I can't believe that's redone.
It's ADR. They did that in ADR.
Yeah, but they couldn't speed it up because, But yeah, they hated the first take was so awful they did ADR. It said.
I'm curious to what
That's
the
Which is
first take was
amazing
then.
because it's awful and
Yeah.
It's so bad.
I
It's
just
so bad.
why talk so slow? You should be
Not just the talking like when he's getting
emotional and
electrocuted.
like
Don't talk slow like in the those old scientists era. No.
But he's also when he's got the electromagnetic field or whatever, and he's like violently shaking. I was like, I couldn't
Yeah, that was
stop
like
laughing.
I was like, wow, that feels
I
like
barely
a
noticed
goofy improv reaction. Like you would.
I
do
was
on
just
stage.
thinking about the dialogue and
Yeah. I did like he's like what where am I like what do you mean shields?
Jill 47 is giving us a reference, I think, to Babylon 5. You Bab 5 folks will get this. Shock tot. Kill it. You have to kill it, Commander Sinclair. So I don't know that yet, but
do you
I'm
know
sure
why
I saw
she's
it.
saying
I
it?
just don't remember it.
no, I don't know why.
That's because Caitlin Brown, who plays Kajada, also played Natath in season
Oh
1
my
of
god, I
Babylon.
That's why I know
hardly
her voice.
recognize. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
of course,
that's
it's full head
Yeah,
makeup.
okay. Because I kept
So
thinking it's like
couldn't
it
recognize
kind of
her.
sounds like Kaylar a little bit, and it sounded sort of like the astronaut from the planet where it goes really really fast. In Voyager, they had the two astronauts that showed
I know what you're
up.
talking about, but
Yeah, that
I can't
that
remember
one.
the name.
Blink
It sounded
of
like
an
her
eye.
as well. Blink of
Blink
an eye.
of an
Thank you.
eye.
Yeah, it sounded like her as well, but it was not.
Father's in his shuttlecraft.
It's a runabout, not a shuttlecraft.
Well, it's nice to have you guys back again. Thank you so much for coming on. Good to see you, Aaron, Marcelo, Fathery, and Joel. Let's get right into the episode summary. So it's pretty simple. I could do this one in less than in less time. So there's an encounter that Julian and Kira have with a ship that's in distress, and they think the person that they rescue is like super paranoid and concerned about the prisoner that she's carrying in this room, saying he's dangerous. So they go in and he dies in Julian's arms. But then what was her character's name? Now I want to call her Babylon 5
Giada or
Kajada.
Kajada, thank you. So Kajada, when they get back to the station, Kajada's super like paranoid. She even stabs the guy right in the chest, the dead body and whatever. And
That
she's
was fun.
insistent that he's like escaped death many times, and like everyone's kind of like whatever like about it until finally things start happening and they believe her. Well, Cisco believes her, tries to believe her right away, but apparently he's able to transfer his consciousness from one body. He figures out a way to go into a humanoid brain. And apparently this is outdated information because here they think we don't use most of our brain, which is really funny because we've since found out that like we actually use all of our brain. Yeah, it's like so. What was his name? Vantika. Or they say it like
said
seven
it both
different
ways. It's
They
one of
said
those
it like
episodes-
7 ways in
Yeah.
They go Vandika, Vantika, Vantika, like so whatever. But so Vandika ends up being able to use this tech to transfer his consciousness into Julian, and Julian's been kind of a Jekyll Hyde figure throughout this, whispering into Quark's ears and creating all these machinations. And he and this group of thugs take over a is it what a Federation like a Federation ship, just like a regular science vessel or something. I think Aaron's having some issues with his sound and he is back. Hold on one second. All right, welcome back. You good? Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's all. Sometimes that happens. Just
Happens, yeah.
leave and come back, and it's fine.
They commandeer the ship, and so in order to save him, they have to figure out a way to lower the shields. They do a electromagnetic pulse, which kind of shakes him back into his consciousness for a little while. He's able to lower the shields. They beam him up, phaser him because he's such a jerk. Don't worry, it's me.
Yeah, they took Father's advice. They stunned right away.
They stunned.
They still thought it was Julian. They just wanted to stun him.
They just wanted to stun him. And so we're able to separate Julian's consciousness from Vandika's. They store him into like one of those little dishes. We've seen these things on Star Trek a bunch. The coaster or whatever that they can store stuff in. And when the space cop, I'm going to call her, is asked, "What are you going to do with it?" She just phasers it, destroys it. Voila. End of episode. I know that was a short summary, so it was all right? Let's go in this order: Aaron, Joel, Marcelo, and then Fathery. Will give him a little chance to get back home. So, Aaron, what did you think of the episode? You're on mute. You're on mute.
I don't know what's on my computer. It's one of those, like, let's do a mystery, and you watch it and you instantly know who it is. At least I did. I was working on mystery stories at the time, so it was like maybe my brain was in that mode. But originally when it came out, I was like, oh, it's Julian. It's Julian. Hey, everyone, it's Julian.
I could tell from the whispering.
Well, but just when he was the only one who made physical contact, and they talked about the glial cell thing, and like, okay, it's gotta be him. But it was fun to see Julian get put in his place tiny bit at the beginning, or at least people recognize that he's like kind of an asshole. But it was okay. It was just it was one of those average first season inoffensive episodes.
Yeah, totally. Joel.
Yeah, I like this. It's a pretty good mystery, and I guess I knew who it was too because it's so much like Child's Play, which had come out 5 years earlier. So a killer grabs someone and says some words, and then he wasn't a good guy's doll, but Bashir still was a pretty good. Yeah, it's a good killer. Of course, it's a little different as Bashir can still be himself sometimes, so it's not quite the same, but it's still fun. And then and our Caitlin Brown as Kajada is pretty fun. And of course, we also get Primin, the Starfleet security officer, in here. We get some,
I totally forgot to mention him because he's not back ever again, right? Like this is the
I was gonna say, it's like, we have they need to protect their interests, and then you never see him. Okay,
he did a pretty good job.
He got fired, and then they're like, oh, no.
There's a scene like in between this episode and next one. He did all right, but I just work alone.
He got mysteriously airlocked out. Nobody knows. Odo's like, I investigated everyone.
Oh, jeez. Marcelo.
Yeah, this episode was just fun. Like Aaron, the first time I saw the episode, if you just pay attention, you could totally figure out who it is. So I did find the building up to the mystery a little bit anticlimactic because I called it way before it happened. But just a quick note. This episode reminded me how much of a insufferable prick Julian is. Like all throughout this episode, I just wanted to punch him in the face. I couldn't be happier when they phasered him because I'm like, do it again. But
you should
ultimately,
feel privileged to be watching Julian doing everything that he's doing on screen. I mean,
yeah. I mean, look. Ultimately, this episode was just really, really. It was run of the mill for me. Yeah.
All right, and Fathery.
So when I first saw The Passenger, I was in like second or third grade, so I might have been a little slower than y'all. But I remember like I wasn't sure who the reveal was gonna be. So the Bashir thing kind of like I was like, oh, it was Bashir. I think I was kind of suspecting him. But the interesting thing about this episode to me is everyone always talks about the voice, the bad Alexander Siddig voice, but that never particularly like stood out to me as like a weird choice. But I know like sometimes I show Deep Space Nine to people who see this for the first time, and sometimes they comment on that, and sometimes they don't think much of it. So I don't know. I just think that it might be your mileage might vary on that. But the most interesting thing of this episode for me personally isn't actually something from the episode, but an experience I had rewatching it on the DVD in, when would that have been? 2002, I guess, when Deep Space Nine was coming out on DVD. I remember watching this on DVD for the first time in 2002 and thinking, oh, that is so neat that you can now freeze frame episodes of Star Trek, and you can freeze frame on the shot where you can see Alexander Siddig's face grabbing Quark in the bar to, you know, like deliver like the whispery dialogue, and just thinking like in the future, if we're watching Star Trek for the first time on, you know, this was kind of in the age of TiVo, and DVR was becoming a thing on television, which, you know, anyone like listening to this under 30 probably has no idea what DVR even is. But, you know, now in like the streaming age, where, you know, you have to like write and shoot TV a little bit differently to handle like reveals and stuff like that. Cause you have to suspect like people watching at home might be able to freeze frame, you know, and in 1993, that wouldn't really have been a concern.
That's legit. Wow.
Because you could do it with VHS, but it would look so bad that it would be.
Yeah, but then you have like the streaky lines. I'm not saying that before the days of internet pornography, people might try to pause certain VHS movies, and it might be like frustrating because you'd have like those streaky lines covering up parts of the image you might be wanting to see. You know, like Linda Hamilton and Terminator, or you know, other VHS tapes that might have been laying around the house. But
Jill says that DVRs are still in use for diehard sports fans. That's interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Just a quick note on DVR. Technology still exists because our technology is built in that. Like you can actually record at sporting events or a TV show, but I don't think the actual DVR boxes exist anymore.
All right. Well,
I don't know anyone personally still using DVR. I've seen anyone who does. They're probably going to be people older than me, and not the.
Uhura, we've lost Fadri and we've lost Aaron. What's going on?
I think it's Romulan interference. I'm not sure.
It's Romulan interference. So, well, Fadri, we understand he's driving, so his frame rate will go down depending where his cell phone tower is. Marcel is also fading on us. And Aaron says he's going to try rebooting his computer.
I am?
Yeah, but your frame rate's also low, which is weird.
Yeah.
But I think it's Julian. He's interfering with us. He's like totally. It's he's trying to sabotage my stream. But Aaron might be back. He might not. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Marcel, you touched on Julian and his arrogance in this episode. Do you guys remember? Yeah. I don't remember. Does that like fade over time, or does he kind of stay like this throughout the whole series? Like
he changes.
He
does change, right?
Well, yeah. In my opinion, he gets a lot better once the man crush on O'Brien, and when he gets when they form that sort of buddy cop thing, I like them better as like a partner in crime, O'Brien.
Oh yeah, that relationship is very nice. Like that he does get more relatable, I think, once he's butts heads with O'Brien, because I think O'Brien represents like the audience's feelings about Julian initially when they start out, and like just kind of calls him out on his BS. So yeah, you're right. He does improve, but yeah, he's such a D bag in the beginning of this episode when he's talking to Kira about.
Yeah, if they didn't get that distress call, Kira might have killed him.
I want to know what she was about
Looks
to
like
say
he
to
was
him.
going there.
I would love to have known what she was about to say. What did she say? She's like, "Doctor, has anyone ever told you?" And then we get the distress call. It's true. But what did you guys think of this new species? They're called the Kubliot, and that they need like they need Duridian to extend their lives, and this whole idea, this concept of transferring your consciousness and stuff like that, which we've seen in Star Trek before. We saw it in TNG with Data's grandfather trying to possess it.
And they make reference to Vulcan's Katra, not by name.
Oh yeah, that's right. Joel, why don't you tell us some of what you thought of all that kind of stuff?
Well, they're interesting, but we don't get a lot. But I do like how they say right away they need Duridium, but then you don't really understand what that is, and later you're like, oh no, if the ship blows up, we have to evacuate Bajor. It's so toxic. Every planet in the system will be uninhabitable. So it's like, wow, okay, you guys need that. And I do like how
they must
up what this Duridium is, and it's just not like some magic drug or something, but like toxic waste almost. But
indeed. Hey, our friend Ellie's in the chat on X. You've been very busy today. I know today it's like a crazy. I'm making up for all the streaming that I've missed.
It's like nonstop day. Yeah, it's true.
It's a nonstop day. It's over after this, though. I promise. For anyone who's getting crazy,
never.
Too much.
I'm just, sick of. I'm just sick of you being everywhere. You gotta go away now. No,
Marcelo, this is from the most prolific podcast right now. By the way, folks, if you get a chance, go check out Sci Fanatics. I was just streaming with Ellie and David and Nick from on Sci Fanatics, and Joel says it was fun, so thank you. That was cool.
I was in the chat.
It was
good
fun.
Channel.
It was fun to be on. Yep, it definitely is.
Yeah.
So yeah, check that out. Great channel. Was today, and hopefully we'll get to stream again together and talk about some more Prodigy in a few weeks. Welcome back. Ooh, and yay, possibly we've got Aaron back as well. Ellie saying my connection was awful. I think there's a tech thing going on. It may be residual from whatever happened on Thursday or Friday. Aaron, you want to give us a mic check? Are you back? Check, Mike. Can you hear us? No, he's giving us a no-low. Try the noise canceling and just don't use just don't use your headphones and see if the noise canceling works. It tends to work sometimes. And Father looks so cool in that green screen with all black. So while we get through these slight tech difficulties here. Oh, whoa. We have
issues.
I think you might have to do without me. I can only hear if it's going through the main monitor, which is not going to work for you guys.
Oh, no.
Echoing. So, don't know what's going on. I also don't have any other audio inputs. I can't listen to YouTube, but nothing is working.
Oh, that's so strange.
So that's really...
I was gonna say try turning on the noise canceling because it might actually can't. Oh, okay. Or come back later. Father, welcome back.
I just showed this episode to Taylor a few weeks ago.
I was gonna ask.
Oh, okay.
And Miss Taylor, do you remember the episode of Deep Space Nine, Season 1, when Dr. Bashir is possessed by the criminal who can transfer his consciousness? It's called The Passenger. What did you think of Dr. Bashir in that episode, or like Alexander Sadig's performance? Did anything stand out?
I didn't think it was him like the whole time. Remember?
Yeah, so it surprised you. You were caught off guard.
Yeah, I thought it was the person that was with him.
She thought it was the cop lady, security lady.
I had that
the
first time I ever saw it. I had that brief thought too, for sure. I think the show tries to steer you in that direction a little bit.
It's hard to remember what people's like first time reactions were to something that a lot of us probably saw 30 years ago. I didn't see this like on its first airing, but I saw a rerun airing of it like a year or two after it first came out. But I remember being kind of surprised as like a 8 or 9-year-old watching it.
Yeah, the first time I saw Deep Space Nine, it was on a Netflix. So I didn't watch this when it initially ran on the air because I was 6, I think. Yeah, I was 6.
I was 15. I don't remember how I felt about this episode.
I was probably like 16 or 17, maybe. No, I would have
You're
had to have
younger
been.
than me.
Oh, I'm younger than you. Yes, I would have been a little
14.
younger. I was 14. There you go. Chris, never. You're all good. That's so cool. All these nice folks are hanging out in the chat there. Audience, by the way, what did you
Kind
think
of like
of,
passengers from your earlier?
They're like passengers. Yeah, it's true. They're passengers in our bodies. That's so strange. Aaron's gonna stay out of this episode. He can't get his audio, but he needs to figure out for other things, which is true. Sorry, I'm a little bummed too because we always love having Aaron on. So, but at least we got you in the chat, so that's pretty cool. What were we gonna talk about next? Oh yeah, so his last words, by the way, "make me live," were very ominous. I also thought it was interesting that Space Cop. Why do I keep forgetting her name? Jesus.
Kajada.
Thank you, Giada.
Kajada. It starts with a K.
Kajada. Kajada has been chasing this guy for 20 years, which is nuts. That's
that's a hella commitment.
That's very Les Mis, right? Which
it is. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that, but that's another reference.
Everything I know about Les Mis I learned from Deep Space Nine.
That's enough, right?
if you see the play one day, it's great. It's a
Odo would make such a great Javert.
He would. I think he would.
So apparently the tech stuff is going around. Chris Thompson from Trek Culture says Sean had last minute computer problems with the Wheaton interview. Nearly didn't happen. Ooh, that sucks. By the way, Chris, since you're in the audience, I just want to give you a shout out. Everyone go check out Chris Thompson's feed on X. He's an amazing editor, and he's put together some of the best kind of videos set to music, or just like compilations, or like poignant videos that kind of like condense a storyline, and or kind of like you just know how to hit the right buttons. Chris, I cry almost every time I see one of your videos. It gets me in the feels really a lot. So yeah, it's an honor to have you hanging out in the audience, and I'm glad I got to meet you in real life too. It's very cool to meet you. So yeah, go check him out.
Chris, are you coming to Vegas? Will you be at Star Trek Las Vegas?
I know Ellie and Sean are, so maybe Chris will be there.
Sean's supposed to be there, so I was looking forward to seeing him again at Vegas. I would love to meet Chris.
You guys must find each other. I'm really hoping someone will FaceTime me into some of these like cool things, and I can just hang out with you.
You just need to come. You just need to show up some year.
Father, I promised Joanne Robertson, who I think is in our audience as well, yes, that I would give it a real solid try to get to Nashville.
Me and Taylor are gonna be there. So, we just booked our hotel actually, so we're for sure gonna be there in September.
Excellent. So yeah, you will hopefully see me in Nashville, and I've always wanted to go to Nashville too, and I think I might bring Mama Starfleet.
That's a good place for us to meet, about halfway between Austin and Miami. So
I know. Very cool. And then of course I'll see a lot of you in Miami next year when you guys go for the cruise. It'll be exciting. I know you're not going to this one, right, Father?
Not unless something drastic
Magical
changes in my life
changes.
in the next few months. I don't plan on going.
Chris says, if my bosses send me, I'll go to STLV. So
Well,
hopefully
y'all send them. Yeah, who do I need to? What culture bean counter do I need to harass to get you a plane ticket to Vegas? Because I'll do it.
Well, see, I watch Trek Culture. Does that mean I'm your? No, it doesn't. But
That's funny. But yeah, so yeah, Marcelo, Joel, any thoughts on her 20-year pursuit?
Yeah. Oh, you go first, Marcelo.
No, go ahead, Joel. You go.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like Les Mis. It's kind of like Holmes, Moriarty, or something. There's arch antagonists who've been trying to play cat and mouse with each other for years, and it's a good setup with just a few lines of dialogue. I think it works.
Aaron's back.
No,
Is it working? Is it working?
I can hear.
Yay! We can hear you. You sound really good.
No idea what's going on.
Stabilized.
This transporter clone is working. The rest,
yeah, right. I went through a subspace anomaly.
I thought that her pursuit of this massive person that she was chasing for like 20 years, I think it really shows that she's a resilient person, and she reminded me a lot of a police detective hunting down a criminal, because when you get obsessed with finding someone or solving something, that can sort of consume your life, and she seemed to me like a individual who could do something like that. She sounds like somebody who lives for her work and dies for her work. So,
and Vandika seems like a really awful person from what she said. Like, she was pretty, like, he seems like he's like a mass murderer type of.
It was like Batman and the Joker, right? Like,
there is a little bit of that. That's true. That's
Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty is like
a
criminal mastermind.
People under his care in a prison to Mengele stuff in there too.
There's a little bit of that obsession with Quark and Odo too. Like there was an echo there, and I noticed also they don't believe her about the same way that the Starfleet security guy, doesn't believe Odo that he's got everything together. There's like a lot of trust issues on both sides, which is interesting.
Do we ever see that security guy again?
I don't believe.
No, Primin. No, we don't see him again.
No, he shows up in one more episode.
Oh, he does.
Yeah,
he does. Okay.
He's in the season finale, in the Hands of the Prophets, right?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I knew he was in the next one. I was just like, oh.
But his. He is very similar to Eddington, and the fact like Odo kind of has the same reaction. He's like, I'm gonna turn in my, I guess not his comm badge and phaser, because Odo doesn't pack heat, but he's gonna turn in his comm badge and bucket to Sisko's desk. You have my resignation if Starfleet doesn't trust me to be in charge of security. He doesn't have that same reaction later when they introduce Eddington.
Yeah.
I guess he is in Move Along Home, which is the next episode. I didn't remember. That's how little I
watched about half of that after this episode. The other day,
I was thinking it was a different episode that he shows up in. But yeah, he does pop up again.
Oh, okay.
But he doesn't sing and Move Along Home, right? So.
No.
Hell of a Rain. I'm so excited.
Yeah, he's there. Like when Odo is like freaking out, like he's like lost the commander and the doctor and Dax and Kira when they're like in the Wadi game.
Oh yeah,
he's there in ops when Odo walks. He's like Constable Odo. He's really, really weird. When y'all watch it, it'll stand out. You pay attention to it. It's a weird line delivery. Constable Odo. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
I didn't have a chance to go through Memory Alpha, but do any of y'all know the story behind why he was only in a few episodes, or what they were planning to do with him, or was it always just
there was something about that?
Wasn't it because Colm Meaney was going to be busy and wouldn't be in as many episodes?
Yeah, he was shooting a movie.
So they wanted to have a proxy O'Brien in case they needed someone to do the O'Brien lines in a script.
Gotcha. That makes sense. But he ended up being available, I guess. So they were like, we don't really need you.
Yeah, they were able to make it work, I guess, with Colm's schedule.
He was an interesting character. I did like how he was antagonistic in the beginning. I really liked Cisco's handling of the whole situation too. Like when he met with Primin, and Primin's like, "Oh, I've got all these opinions." Like, I'm not interested in your opinion.
Yeah, that was just spot on.
And I love the way he delivered that line clear.
Oh.
It's like, yes, sir. Loud and clear. But yeah, he was definitely an interesting character. I think I don't know, having the benefit of having seen the series and knowing how things turn out, like he does, for lack of a better phrase, he doesn't really matter. Like, sorry, Primin, but watching it at the time, I don't remember my feelings, but I could see how someone would be like, "Oh, this is a new interesting character. I wonder if they're going to stick around." And he is I like how he actually proves himself in this episode too, where he like finds that that shunt or whatever, and so yeah, it was a good, and I like Jill said earlier, like he has a whole character arc in one episode. Which
he actually learns from Odo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess when they were doing a Move Along Home, that Cole Meany was also not available. That's why he got pulled into that.
He got that part.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Memory Alpha page.
I thought Odo was a little quick to resign. Like that was just a little
Odo.
bit like
he does it every week. We just don't always.
Yeah, it's kind of like he's being a bit of a dramatic bitch, I guess. He's like just throws his hands up in the air, like, I resign, I quit.
In post-scarcity world, you can just quit all the time. It's fine.
Yeah.
I had the same thought, Jill, that like quitting is different.
When you won't die.
The future.
And Odo doesn't eat either, so you can live in a vacuum. It's okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about
he doesn't need health care.
Well, you can't quit. We didn't even hire you because there's no such thing.
Oh yeah. But it was the Bajorans who didn't hire me. Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Cardassians who didn't hire him.
They transferred him over.
Just Gul Dukat was just like, do you want to do security stuff? And just here's a bucket and an office. Knock yourself out.
Yeah, Odo totally was bluffing. That's the vibe I got out of it too.
Yeah, legit. He was very surprised that Cisco supported him too. He was just like, "Oh, I kind of okay, that's fine." Odo was pretty awesome in this episode. He had that other scene with oh god, why can't I remember her name? That's so awful. But space.
So you got to do what I do and put it in a text file you can see on your monitor, and then you can read it.
I have it written down on a piece of paper, but I always have to
be in view
to find it. Yeah, it's true.
I don't remember it either, but it's written down.
Kojak. How about that? I just call her Kojak.
You can tell because of the sucker. And she's bald.
Kajada. Thank you, Jill.
Just think of Giada Dealer.
That's what I was saying.
Kajada.
I could only remember Giada, and I knew it was wrong. Was like,
we should just start saying her name's Natoth from now on. So.
But Odo's like totally like, okay, only 4 of us can know what's going on security wise, and she's gonna know, and she's gonna come in and confront me. And I love that, like when she's like, "What are you, a fool?" And he's like, "Yes, like I am my own special variety of fool." I thought was funny. It was very good. I think we're starting to see Odo kind of develop into the Odo that we're more familiar with. Finally,
they nailed down Odo a lot faster than a lot of people here, especially Bashir.
Any other thoughts on Odo or Primin, guys?
I thought it was good that Odo acknowledged that he had a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So there was some mutual respect, at least, which was nice.
Everyone got a little something to do in this episode, which was cool too. I noticed like Dax was instrumental in it. She comes up with this thing, which I thought was interesting. Is that now I want to say Kajada, and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Oh my god,
Vandicamp.
Thank you, Vandicamp. This will go down in history as my worst remembering names of characters episode. So, so he restricts it to the 4 people. She comes in, and then I lost my train of thought. But what about Quark's little gang, and like, you know, it's interesting. Quark like really goes to
Quark,
some like dangerous places. Like he's not he's
more so early on in the first two seasons. He's a little bit more scummy
and sinister. Yeah,
he doesn't have as much money coming in from Dom or not. Gambling. I was gonna say Dom shot. They don't have Dom shot.
Quark.
There's Dom shot tables somewhere because they
don't ever talk about show it though, and there's no nonsense killing people over it. So,
but maybe it's upstairs in the.
Jake talks about playing it, but we don't know where. Somewhere on that station.
Like?
Hollow Suite.
Yeah, because then we see it in TNG and Lower Decks.
Oh, okay.
Marcel, you were gonna say something?
Quark blatantly lying to Odo's face, going, "I'm not involved with illegal shit on the station," is the most like, really? Come on, dude.
That's his love language for Odo, though.
Like, come on.
That's true. It's true. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. It was humanoid brains. So this guy created this like, you know, interesting way of transferring consciousness into humanoid brain. So technically, he could have gone into any humanoid brain. Like he had the technology. He could have possessed, you know, well, not Odo, but maybe Quark or any other of the humanoid species. And it made me wonder, like, are all humanoids, like, do they have like a very similar kind of brain that some are just like, you know,
progenitors
adaptations? Yeah, it goes back to the progenitors. I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Because of them, we can do weird possessions. Isn't it great?
It's true. But yeah, Dax was awesome in this episode. I thought she was really great when she came up with I can't remember the techno babble, but I'm sure it's based on like real science and stuff like that.
Glial cell thing.
yeah, that's it. There you go. Thank you.
Under the fingernail generator, and then
her quote was that I wrote it down actually. I've been asking myself, why would anyone induct a bioelectric charge into a glial cell? And this goes like a question I have always wondered about.
Always wondered. That was a good one.
I know I've asked myself that many times.
That's pretty funny. I like that scene a lot. I love their interactions. It's very cool.
Yeah, I wonder if it was based. I was going to look that up. I didn't have time. Like what real science from the 90s that was based on.
I do like the computer stuff in this, though. This is pretty actively saying he accessed all the stuff in basically RAM to get what he wanted instead of going after the files on whatever storage. I mean, that's pretty accurate. And then also trying to find ways to shut everything down to get through it through like weird tertiary doors, not direct access to like the systems that would shut things down.
Shut down the sanitary department.
Yeah, it all seems really on point, much more so than Star Trek usually ever is.
No, that's true. Vandika was lucky to get Julian too, because if he wanted to transfer into other people, Julian would be the correct would have the tech and the knowledge to
and clearance.
And the clearance to.
He probably heard there was a doctor. I'm assuming that's why he chose him.
Oh, maybe that's true. That's true. Yeah, and it's interesting that he scratches Julian's neck to get his consciousness. That's like a new one that I hadn't even kind of thought of. Like there's usually like a process involved or magic. Like you'll see like some kind of like stream.
Brad Dourif has this magic spell he does.
Yeah, or something like that to do that. Yeah, exactly. So
then there's clouds come in every time and the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this was a totally novel and unique way of handling the consciousness transfer thing. So that was a plus for the episode too. All right, we get down to the reveal, and I just like, what were they thinking? Like, Trev in the audience said that like it was actually Siddig who wanted to re-record his lines, and someone was saying like, I wonder where the
producers did too. I think.
Yeah, I'm sure. And someone's saying, I wonder where the original. I would love.
How bad was it? This is an improvement.
Does Siddig like make sure it's vaulted forever? Is it like in his contract to never
STLV? Maybe somebody can ask him. Like,
yeah,
what was the? And we just reviewed The Passenger. What did your original narration sound like?
The performance gets worse and
was
worse.
He trying to copy that? What he says in the script, like make me.
He's
live,
trying to.
Just kind of slow.
Oh, yeah,
that was my only thought of what was going on.
But he was also like dying at that point. That's
yeah,
how he normally would be talking. You would think.
Yeah, there was smoke and
yeah.
I just want to talk like that all day to see if I can annoy people.
It'll take too long. Too long.
It'd be funny if it was just like a cartoony voice or something.
I'm ready to go to the grocery store now.
I think I'll pass. Bye-bye.
You're gonna get phasered. That's all I gotta say.
I would get hit. I would get slapped.
Checking out at the grocery store.
You get punched in the face.
It's hard to be real emotional, like bad guy when you're talking that slow.
I'm surprised like that people didn't break their characters and start cracking up like
they did. That was shot 47.
Trev says, not sure it was Sid's idea. Just read he was asked to re-record the audio. Okay, so yeah, that's what we all thought too. So all his Vanticus scenes are ADR'd. That makes it worse.
Well, I thought what they were going to do is like have like somebody who looks different, like a different build from him, to give the impression that it was somebody else or something, or just.
Like, that would have been neat. Like literally, like like when they depict like Jekyll and Hyde, like
yeah,
Dr. Jekyll seems meek compared to Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
Like he always
like
seems,
maybe he's
even
like
though it's the same body, yeah,
or something. Yeah,
yeah.
That you could do something with body language to make it look different.
Come on, Sid. He's a really good actor, so this is no.
He is. So yeah, I don't
really
know
good actor,
what these choices were. But...
Hey, everyone has a bad day, right? Like we all make poor choices at times, and that was certainly one of them.
Like
but it is memorable.
The directors also, he could have been directed to be like that.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of room for improv in Star Trek. Like they
no, because they were so worried about changing one word.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It was a big deal. Like you had to
get the writer down to approve it.
Yeah. So I imagine that maybe if that was direction, it would have come from not himself.
Father, I see a thought stirring.
I was very distracted by I was trying to look up if Alexander Siddig was doing any conventions anytime soon, and I was distracted by the guests that are coming to Vegas.
Ooh, quickly.
I didn't realize they have 177, which is they always they brag about. They always have like over 100, but this is a lot. Like there's gonna be some last minute cancellations.
176, obviously, because I think my name's still on there, but I'm.
Oh,
you weren't in the pictures anymore last time I looked.
Oh, okay.
They work quickly.
But in addition to having President Rillick actor, Sheila Horstel, and President Tarina actor Tara Rosling.
That's cool.
They're also going to have the Battlestar Galactica president lady.
Laura, she's gonna be there.
President Laura Roslin actor Mary McDonald.
Mary McDonald. Wow.
I assumed
just for Galactica.
Battlestar convention in like October.
Not.
They already hired her to do that. They're like, why don't you just come down to Vegas?
You can have like a president's panel.
And also the lady who plays 7 of 9's mom, I guess Erin Hansen. So Joel, I think we should get like a picture of like of the Hansen family and try to
remember forever.
We'll get her to sign it, and eventually we'll get the guy who plays Magnus on there. Maybe
we got that question wrong last year.
Father, STLV's in 2 weeks, right?
Yes, sir.
Are any of y'all going to San Diego Comic Con?
No, but that's in 1 week.
Yeah, that's
next. It starts on the 24th.
1 week,
4 days, isn't it?
Yeah, it's next weekend. Yeah, like all the Star Trek universe panel that's going to be huge is going to be 1 week from today, and 1 week from tomorrow we'll be breaking it down and covering any trailers, clips, news announcements, casting news on the Academy show, Section 31 trailer, maybe clips from Strange New World season 3. Who the hell knows? But stuff like that will happen next week.
This year seems to be like the big like comeback from 2020. They have a preview night on Wednesday now. Like so, it's gone. They get 2 extra preview nights or something like that.
Oh.
An extra Hall H day, stuff like that. So
yeah, it's gonna be a big Comic Con.
Very cool. Marcelo, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, didn't they announce some new casting for Starfleet Academy just a couple days ago?
2 more actors, yeah.
Two more actors, yeah.
But they're pretty. They haven't done much because they're so young.
And they look like cadets. Yeah, they look like they're going to be.
Yeah,
cadets.
they're going to be more students, I think, in addition to the 3 that we got.
I'm so excited about. When is Section 31 supposed? I mean, sorry. When is?
I still haven't read the report yet.
When is Academy supposed to? Did they estimated that they're going to probably 2026 maybe?
What are you asking?
When is it going to debut or premiere? Yeah,
they're going to start shooting like any week now. And then they probably last time Alex Kurtzman commented on it, he said it probably won't be done in time for 2025, so early 2026.
Gotcha.
Oh.
But it could possibly be, ready in time for like a Q4 premiere next year. I just don't think they would want to do it. They normally with like Strange New Worlds and Picard and Discovery, like they love, like they're big babies that they get like the Nielsen top 10, whatever, like. They like to premiere those in the spring, so
it's like February, March, something like that. Right?
Yeah, it's somewhere between February and June. They'll premiere Academy. I think in both Strange New World season 3 next year, and then the Academy the year after that would be.
So next 2025 we'll get Strange
New World season 3. Yeah, they've shot that. Like that's in the can. We'll possibly get for that.
We'll get the Section 31 movie too next
year? We'll get 31 probably in between Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds would be my guess. The next thing we're going to get is going to be the final season of Lower Decks, and then probably Section 31 after that, and then Strange New Worlds early next year. Section 31 will either be like late this year or early next year.
Oh, Father, I think I found the visual reference to Star Trek 6 in the first 15 episodes of Star Trek Prodigy.
What is it?
So when they close the wormhole, there's a Praxis-like explosion that goes from within the wormhole.
I'll take it.
Out.
So we got to cross off Star Trek 5, and that's everything.
I'm still looking for Star Trek. Oh, Star Trek 5, easy. I have that one too. It's when Zero lowers Majel and Dal down into the pit. It's just like Spock.
With
the way that they're holding on to him, and he's the anti-gravity. Thing, and so that's the reference to Star Trek 5.
Yeah, I said that online.
Will you take that one? Yeah, I think. Yeah, I thought maybe Aaron said that too. Yeah,
I didn't see it. But yeah, that sounds. I'd have to probably like rewatch that sequence to know the moment you're talking about. But I believe you that it's there.
Here's another one. If you could take, because I think wasn't it Star Trek 5 where the decks changed like crazy numbers?
Yeah,
the Enterprise.
Yes.
There's also a scene in the first whatever ones that we've reviewed where it's like deck 29 but there's only 27 decks or something like that, so it's another one of the that could also be a reference.
That could be a Nemesis reference too.
When
we covered Star Trek 5 on Text Trek, Dave, Brian, and I jokingly said that Mike Okuda must have been busy working on Next Generation stuff that day, and that's why the set was decorated incorrectly with the misnumbered deck numbers going in the wrong direction. Because Mike would have known better, so he must have been busy doing TNG stuff.
Yeah, it didn't like skip around. It was like higher, lower, higher.
Yeah, well, I mean that was in the editing, but like even just like the way that they built it, they were numbered. The Star Trek decks are numbered, 1 at the top, and then the numbers increase as you go down. It always confuses me when I'm on the Star Trek cruise, because that's the only time I'm on like a ship in real life. But it's numbered the opposite way, where like deck 13's the very top and deck 1's like the very bottom.
I saw there's some new cruise ship that has like the carpet has like designs in it that are made to point towards the front of the ship, so you know what direction you're walking.
Yeah, that's handy.
So that was kind of clever.
If it could tell you if you're on like the starboard side or the port side.
Yeah.
So you just ask the computer to light up the carpet for you.
Yeah, they should just have that. Exactly. I think by now they actually could have something like that. A screen or something at the end of each corridor.
Coming back to this episode and wrapping it up, because we are coming up to the hour. I would say that like this episode's, on first viewing it's probably fun and it's all right, but I don't think I didn't even remember the details of this episode because I just think that like the performance of Vanica just takes me so out of it that I'm just like, oh, like this like, makes me laugh so much. I can't even tell you guys. Like I was just cracking up. So for me, I think good solid episode, good ideas, lots of good ideas in it. Execution was all right, so I'm gonna give this a 7, which is like kind of, it's kind of a solid rating there. Usually I give 10, so that tells you where I'm at with that.
Did you guys read everything in Memory Alpha? Because there's another weird thing about how the writer, Morgan Grendel, he wrote a song for Quark to sing.
I missed that.
Oh yeah, I don't know about this.
It was like he was gonna have to sing a song about, it was sort of Hobbit-like, about making money and watering drinks down.
Was it while he's cleaning up or something?
Yeah, something like that. And then but then he realized, no, he can't turn that in. He'll be mocked by the writers, and
so he just did the next one to move along.
Yeah, but I'm just like,
that's so funny.
Obviously, Armin never sang it because he never probably saw it. But if only we had that shot.
Joel, our audience is requesting quotes. What quotes did you write down?
I wrote one. Well, actually, I figured out too that you can actually just go get the script and copy and paste the quote. Because before I was trying to write it down like a
oh yeah, no, that's why I always
court
had the script
reporter, and I'm very bad court reporter. So I just copied and pasted it. The best quote was Sisko talking to Odo after his resignation, and it was, "I like you, Odo. I like to know where a man stands, and there's never any question of that with you. I need you here. No Starfleet officer can do the job you do."
That is a good quote.
That was the best one of the episode. There are some other good ones, but
it shows Sisko as like the Machiavellian chess player. He's like, I need a guy who won't have his hands tied to, Starfleet
really
security limitations.
If only I had a tailor who was good at intelligence.
If only when I was commander at Utopia Planitia, if I had built like a Borg slaying starship that might be like really badass to deal with the Dominion with. He's always got like backup plans and contingencies and stuff. He's a big picture dude.
He is a big picture dude.
He is.
He really is from the beginning. Like you could see his mind really how it works, and it's pretty brilliant. He's a brilliant strategist. Can't say that word properly.
Strategist. Strategist, is that the word you're looking for?
Strategist. Thank you. There we go. Marcelo, closing. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Is this the first time we've heard in universe the character call it Deep Space Nine or DS9?
Oh,
I can't remember before this if they kept saying Deep Space Nine or the station or something.
It might be the
I'm not sure. It's pretty they use it in the show pretty casually. I don't know when the first episode they actually drop it.
Yeah,
might be here.
Anyway, sorry.
No worries, Marcelo.
Yeah, I thought this episode was okay. Like I said, the mystery kind of didn't work for me because I called it, much like Aaron did. Like it just came to me, so that kind of wasted the whole thing. I did not like Alexander Siddig. I did not like Alexander Siddig in this episode. I just wanted to, like I said before, punch him. So that brought this episode down to a crawl to me. I did like my moment with my favorite character in the show, Dax, with the sciencey moment, and with Sisko. That was cool. I always like I like the camaraderie that they have together. So for all those reasons, I will give this episode a 3 out of 10.
Nice. You and Norman were in the 3s there. So
Yeah.
Aaron, and I'm so glad it worked out with your tech. We would have missed you. So thank you for trying the 3rd time.
Oh, it was a subspace shunt. You got to look for one of those. It's somewhere in here.
Yeah, that might be
that's what it totally is.
So I don't know. I'd give it like a 4 or 5 out of 10. It's a really middle of the road. I've seen it 3 times now recently, and it's a little too much now. I don't need to see it again for a long time.
Yeah.
So there was nothing that's there's that iconic one thing that that saved this episode from being a 5. There isn't. So yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I'm lowering my rating to a 5 now too. Sorry guys, I'm gonna go with the gander here.
I didn't give my rating. I'll go with a 6.
Okay,
we didn't really talk about it, but the stuff between Quark and Odo, Quark has a little speech about how wanting things is good.
Oh yeah.
It didn't really impact anything else in the episode, but it was a really good little character moment for that.
That's right. That's right. He talks about like the second floor or whatever. Like he caters to that, all the time. So yeah, Father, final thoughts on the episode and a whimsical rating if you choose.
I'm gonna rate it a 10 out of 10, and I'm not gonna explain myself.
Liar. Liar.
Somebody took over his brain through his glial cell.
Yes, that's what it is.
The writer who wrote this episode is now inside.
I wish you had said it like this. I'm
careful, you might get pushed off that second floor balcony.
Yeah.
A 10 out of 10. You don't have to explain yourself, but you do have to tell folks what's going on Text Trek.
All kinds of fun stuff. We were just talking about Star Trek Prodigy, but that's we are still enjoying the wake of that big 20 episode drop at the first of the month. So we are going to cover the final 5 episodes of season 2 this coming Friday. Mm-hmm. And then after that, the next week after, we won't have a regular show on Friday night, but there will be a stream featuring me and hopefully Joel from the convention floor sometime over the weekend. I'm thinking probably like Friday afternoon we might do a live stream from the con floor, so be on the lookout for that.
Sure, we can work.
We're going to do one stream for the Comic-Con as well, like on a Sunday, to talk about anything that might come from that.
Oh yeah. There's going to be a live stream on Sunday, July 28th at 2 p.m. Central, where we're going to talk about the Star Trek Universe panel. So like I was saying, trailers for Strange New Worlds, Lower Decks, Section 31, I think big Starfleet Academy news, whatever the hell this Doctor Who Star Trek panel is going to be, the Doctor Who X Star Trek. We got like Kong X Godzilla. Now there's
I saw Doctor Who. I was surprised at how good Kong X Godzilla was, actually, by the way.
Streaming on
I hope it's a plushie Murph and plushie K9 that come out. That's what I hope it is.
Ooh. Murph and K9. But yeah, I'm 100% hoping it's a crossover announcement, but I know you're not keen on that, Father.
Well, there'd have to be some interesting explanation, because they several times have mentioned Star Trek as a show and a fiction, so
that's true.
It isn't even like, oh, they mentioned Mr. Spock. They could be referring to a real Mr. Spock. They say Star Trek.
Yeah. It's like is like the Doctor gonna go to like the sets where they shoot Strange New Worlds in Toronto and meet like an actor named Anson Mount? Like
that would be funny.
That would be really weird and
like,
kind of fun, actually.
It's like telling his companions, like, oh no, you thought we're going to actual Star Trek? No, that's ridiculous. It's a fake.
No, the Doctor just finds a portal, one of his favorite portals, and
which I can't have like Doctor Who be real world and Star Trek is fake. Like I love Doctor Who, but Doctor Who is too stupid to be like the real world one. Like Star Trek is the more grounded one.
It's
that
a
should be
universe.
The real.
They can come to this one. It would work. You could do it.
It's just that they're fiction. Like, it would be interesting if in Star Trek then they mentioned Doctor Who.
Well, Michael Kuda mentioned Doctor Who a lot in Star Trek.
TNG stuff on the screen.
That's true, on the panels and stuff. Yeah.
It'd be neat if in each of the dimensions, in each of the worlds, there's a TV show about the opposite. So like they could be like, when they go to the Star Trek universe, the Doctor and his companion could be like, wait, like the TV show? And they're like, what are you talking about? There's a show called Doctor Who. And then like there's no like, so that I don't know, that might be weird. But who knows what they're gonna do.
I don't want
Doctor and the regular Doctor together.
I think I prefer their crossovers to be in like the non-canonical stuff, like the comics and books. And I'd rather like explore that there, I think. But
they're all worried about something they're never going to pay for. So
yeah, I don't know.
It's actually it's a third story. It's Star Wars that goes through Star Trek and into Doctor Who.
Star Wars that goes through Star Trek.
Yeah, it make more sense. Disney could arrange it amongst,
yeah,
BBC a lot easier with the.
Yeah, we did get timey-wimey. That's true.
Maybe Doctor Who was on one of the decks.
Maybe it's just an announcement that Russell T Davies is going to write an episode of something Star Trek in the future.
Oh, that would be cool. A thing.
He is a Star Trek fan.
Yeah, I know. So he could totally do that. I mean, I do remember on one of his.
You know, Kurtzman likes these long Trek. Is what Trek culture has coined them. But the plan after Section 31 is to do more of these standalone made for streaming movies. Maybe if Russell T Davies wants to do a Star Trek story, you know.
There he goes.
Ooh.
Yep. Russell T Davies writing The Traveler.
Ooh.
That'll be interesting.
Star Trek The Traveler.
Yeah. Doing or Gary Seven, like who is Doctor the Doctor, basically.
Yeah.
The Sonic Screwdriver.
That's true.
I need ISIS though.
Yeah.
Lots of possibilities. I like that idea of an announcement of him writing for Star Trek. Yeah. That's a good idea too. Cool.
That'd be great.
Aaron, Marcelo, and Joel, have you guys got anything you want to tell the audience about that you're doing and promoting? By the way, Aaron, amazing poster for the RPG game that you put out. Everyone go check that out. It's super cool.
One of the things I just found out is that my artwork is in the back of the new 2E book, the main one. It's the pink tribbles. Not I'll take what I can get. But yeah, so that's coming out soon, which is cool. So it's I'm gonna start trying to play because I was waiting for the new rules to come out. I'll just learn from there. So yeah, so if you look in the back and you find pink tribbles, those are mine.
That's excellent.
Nice.
Joel,
I've just been appearing on stuff that you and Father do, and I sometimes the first reaction one too, but mostly I'm just getting ready for STLV and trying to. I guess I have to see if all my crap will fit in my bag. I'm trying not to check a bag. So can I fit 3 uniforms? 4? I think
you might need
wear 2 or 3 of them.
I'm pretty good. I went to Europe with just a backpack. I think I can do it.
But Jill, depending on who's available that day, we may not even do a stream. We might let that weekend just be a weekend where we watch all the stuff coming from STLV. But we'll see. We'll let you guys know.
Or we just do one where we ignore STLV.
Yeah, we could do that too for those of us that have FOMO. It's actually a good idea. Marcel, what have you got
going on today?
Oh, what? There's a convention? I heard something's going on.
We'll be
I have no idea.
No.
It's all these suckers that are wearing polyester in 109-degree weather.
I'm not leaving the Rio once I go in, so it's going to be fine.
It is like a space station. We joked about
it's huge. I did go outside once last year. Just someone was going to smoke or something, so I was like, okay, yeah, it's hot out in the shade. So we're out there 10 minutes. Like that's enough.
It is hot in the shade too. It's true.
That's enough.
Marcel, what's going on over at the Red Wall and all your other podcasts? Because you have quite a few.
If you wanna check out my stuff, I got a lot of neat stuff happening on my YouTube channel, Balloon Head Productions. My reactions for season 2 of Dawson's Creek has just started. Those episodes come out every Wednesday. I also have live discussions for All Mankind season 1. Those come out every Friday at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I also just recently joined Twitch. So this Sunday I will be live streaming the first episode of Outlander ever, Sassenach. So if you guys have a Twitch channel and want to come out and say hi while I'm watching the episode live, you're welcome to.
Most excellent. All right, folks, thanks so much for joining us. I had a great time talking about this middle of the road episode with a memorable performance from Siddig.
Terrible. How about forgettable? That's better.
Forgettable, yeah.
Not forgettable though. It's etched in my mind.
It's memorable in a bad way.
Yes, that's right. Memorable
as a fiddle. Oh my hurry up!
Fit as
the infamous. How about that? You call it infamous rendition of his lines.
I like that infamous rendition.
Possession 101 when he gives his master class on acting. Anyways, live long and prosper, everyone, and we will see